Hi, I'm Christopher Hein, and today we're going to talk about forms 1, 2, and 3 and how they interplay. I really think you're learning the vast majority of the material in 1, 2, and 3. There's lots of other little lessons you need, but mostly the lessons learned in form 1, 2, and 3 are repeated over and over again in the other forms, because form 1, 2, and 3 basically talk about transitioning kin-kamae and ski-kamae, and why you would transition kin-kamae and ski-kamae, and how you would deal with a person being in either or transitioning to either when a situation arises. So 1, 2, and 3 really deal with a lot of the meat of what I think the Kumijo are teaching. I think Saito Sensei's Kumijo are basically talking, for the most part, about how to get a distance advantage, whether that be close-up disadvantage or long-range distance advantage, how you transition to that advantage, and how you deal with someone transitioning to an advantage. And I think that's the majority of the material. Years ago, as I started pulling it apart, I realized I was like, oh, this is what this is really about. There are some other things, right? How you would deal with someone if you were not in a ready-to-fight position, and that's what a lot of the other forms talk about. In fact, after we get past 1, 2, and 3, they all describe that kind of situation. So there's a lot of that in there too. But the main ideas are how we deal with distancing, and that's something that I feel like I didn't learn in the traditional Iwama system, even though it was built into the system. It wasn't until later that I had those problems with distancing that I was like, oh, this is actually explained to me in the form. I just was too dumb to realize it. So anyway, so we're going to talk about 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to get Josh out here and we're going to go to work. Josh? All right, so let's talk about first form, second form, third form, and what they're doing. So first off, first form, second form, third form are the only 3 forms that are a heads-up situation. And what I mean is we both know we're engaged in a fight. Everything else is going to be one person not ready for some kind of exchange. But these all 3 are ready for an exchange. So actually, let's switch directions here. Okay, so one of the most important things taught here and taught in all these Kumijo is transitioning Jodangai Shiuchi and why one would transition Jodangai Shiuchi. So in the first form, we have out of distance, and Josh is going to transition Jodangai Shiuchi, and he's doing that for a reason, because by transitioning Jodangai Shiuchi, he can cover the distance he needs to cover here in order to hit me. So we're out of distance. Go back. We're out of distance for ski-kamae. You're fine. We're out of distance for ski-kamae here, so meaning if I took a regular ski-kamae, I don't get Josh, and the same would be true for him, he wouldn't get me. But if he transitions Jodangai Shiuchi, he's covering that distance and hitting me. Now look, that's what you want to be doing when you're making a distance change, is you want to be actively making them do something as well. Otherwise, you're just giving them more time to prepare for what you're about to do. So he doesn't want to give me prep time. As he moves in, he's going to be hitting me, and that at least makes me have to defend the shot or whatever else I'm doing. So that's one way we can use it. Okay, now in second form, we're in close. So in second form, we're at a close range like this. And as Josh comes to get me, I deal with this with a Mawashi Barai. Now, I can use the ideas of first form here as well, right? So meaning, if Josh took that transition, so because we're close, if Josh took that transition and tried to Jodangai Shiuchi, I could hit him here and then cover, right? So that's what first form teaches us. And I can use that idea in second form, okay? Also, though, I can use, or Josh can use that in order to avoid this, right? So see, he's pulling back from that. So in first form, we have that idea that I can thrust him on the offbeat while he's prepping the high action and then still defend my head. But Josh can now use that same idea, the transition Jodangai Shiuchi, to make distance instead of come in. And so if I tried that idea here, he could pull back, boom, and I'm not going to be able to get him, right? So this is where we see first form and second form inform each other, right? So they're informing each other about what we could do. If at any point Josh felt like I was going to hit him on the low line, using Jodangai Shiuchi, he could pull back, okay? Now we get, how do I cover that distance? And second form teaches us how we cover the distance if he tries to back off, right? So in second form, here, now look, if I just shot here, he'd pull up, but if I come up underneath, I cover a huge amount of distance, and I do it in a protected position. So meaning if he was fast, I'm in Banji no Kamae that entire time to protect myself. So these two inform each other immediately about things that are going on, right? Okay, now when we get to third form, we're seeing what happens if you get crowded from the kin-kamae position, which is usually off of the transition, the other two forms off the transition. But let's say I'm in kin kamae, okay? And so this guy's coming in. So now look, the stance-wise, what's happening is we're close range, and Josh is in the superior kamae for close range. My weapon's over here to the side, which means if I wanted to use this to defend myself, it'd be kind of difficult. And yeah, I could whack him, but what good would the whack do? Because I'm still going to get gotten, right? So how can I change the way I'm using this weapon? So now if I was the one transitioning into longer distance stance, how can I use, as he comes in, the back side to defend myself, right? So this, if I'm in kin kamae and we're close range, how can I defend myself close range? This is how, right? Okay, now what this does, and so there's lots of ways I could attack from here, but the form teaches us to turn it all the way around. Now what's cool about that is this turning also puts me back in this position. So if I wanted to use it for either first form or second form, I could. So watch what I mean by this. This is really cool. So after I hit Josh, he transitions Jodangai Shiuchi, right? So let's say he transitions Jodangai Shiuchi. Go ahead, and comes here and hits me. All right. Now, if I'm faster than him, I can use first form. Boom, right? Okay, faster than him, use first form. If he detects that and backs up, then I can use second form to come in after him, right? So I can deal with him whether he's backing up or crowding me with first and second form. So are there any other ideas? Yes, and this form teaches us the third idea in there, which is after this defense, I can still go here, and that's if he's too quick for me to do either of those other two ideas, right? So those other two ideas require me to get here to stab, but if I get here and I'm kind of junked up, then as he comes around, I can just use this to just knock it away, right? And so it's a crude parry, but that is another idea that I might get if I'm not quick enough to turn those other two over. So in third form, if we get here, and as he's, slow down a little for me, as he's transitioning, I'm quicker than him, I can get him here. If I'm quicker than him and he detects that, so he starts to back off, you gotta be a little slower than that, I'm gonna come up from underneath him, right? Does that make sense? So either way, I can deal with those two situations. Now, if I'm not able to do either one of those, so I'm not quicker than him, then what happens is I can use this side to defend myself, right? Now, once I get over here, if he Renzoku'd, I could do either of those things again, right? So if I'm quicker than him, I can go here and defend, first form. Okay, if he detects it, you gotta slow down. If he detects that and backs up for me, I can track him down and whack him from underneath, right? So I could do those same things on the other side as well. And this form shows you how to set up to do both of those things. Now, what happens? Third answer again, if I'm not fast enough doing either of those, as he comes in, I whack him here. Boom. Okay. Now, we learn another important thing here, and until we get into fourth form, which will be coming up this week, we won't see what the other answer is, but the first of our answers from this is we're now close quarters, and I'm stick over the top in this position. So I'm in Hito Ami, stick over the top. I can come in here, and I can set up a choke, and I can set up a Kokyunage, right? And so this form teaches us when we're close quarters, we can deal with that. Okay, now let's talk about close quarters. So we're going to get close quarters answers in forms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to get close quarter answers for all of those. So the first half is all close quarters answers. So this is one of our close quarter answers, but what are our other ones? So let's put Josh in kin kamae again. Okay, so I'm either going to be in this kind of position or this kind of position, right? Or I'm going to be in this kind of position or this kind of position. Those are the ways I'm going to be. And I could, of course, be either thumbs back or thumbs forward in those situations, right? Okay, now this form, third form, after I'm here, I go into this set, okay? In fourth form, I'll show you when we get there, but we could do that. Now let's say I'm underneath the arms. Well, this is the answers from second form, right? Here's second form answers, right? And it might not look like that to you right now, but let's just show you second form. So we're going to go back here and do second form. So we get in here when he comes in, boom, and I come up underneath. Good, you're okay. I just want to show this part. Okay, so I'm here like this, right? Now I'm underneath those arms, right? And so if he comes for me, I can turn here. There's second form's ending. Also, though, if you went to the other side, that doesn't change for me, right? It's no different. It's the same answer. We only see it in one side in the form, but it's the same either way. So if I'm underneath the arms there, we get that method. Okay, now, first form, I'm on the inside, so I'm here. Actually, sorry, let's switch around this direction. So I'm here like this, okay? So this is the opposite side. So before, stay right there for me, stay right there for me. So before I was here, right, okay? Now I'm here on top, and I'm thumbs forward, right? So here I hook in there as he raises up to get me. I follow him over, boom, and throw him over, right? Okay, so we're seeing 3, and we'll see 2 more in a second. But we're seeing all the possible variations for close quarters. And those all feed each other, right? So let's say Josh had just finished a strike. Boom. I came over the top like this, and let's say he just blew past this. He just goes straight up. Boom. Now I'm inside here, right? And so this is our second form stuff, right? Okay, let's say when we did this, right, for whatever reason, I got turned around, and now we have all this set of answers when we're in here, right? So same thing. So first, second, third form, they're all heads-up forms, meaning we're in engagement. We both know we're in engagement. They're talking about how you transition the distance. So if Josh is trying to get the advantage, or if I'm trying to get the advantage, because I can take the lessons of I can transition back or forward, neither one of those, how do we adapt to that? When it can happen, what are the counters for that, and what are the grappling situations that are likely to happen after that? So we get a ton in first, second, and third form. The next 2 forms are going to be really important. They're all important, and they teach different things, but to me, you could probably get, 70, 80% of all the work from first, second, and third form. So I think they're highly important. Okay, that's enough on this. I'm Christopher Hein. This is Joshua T. My Salon McDaniels behind that camera right there, and we'll see you in the next video.